All right, time to pretty much wrap up today with the introduction of a new idea, and that's rotation. Okay, rotation is interesting in Grasshopper because it usually is going to be based on either a vector or some kind of axis or even a geometry that it revolves around. That's important to know. So in the transform menu, tab, sorry, under the Euclidean panel, you'll see that there are three different types of rotates. Rotate says rotate object in a plane. The next one also says rotate object in a plane. And then you've got rotate 3D and you've got rotate axis. So just to kind of point out a few differences, I'm going to drop all three of them, or all four of them, into the plane here and just show you what's different about each. The rotate around a plane, just a plane rotate like this, will ask for a geometry, an angle, and a plane, right? So it's basically going to take a center point on a two-dimensional plane, and it'll rotate around the center point of the plane. Similarly, rotate an object in a plane is going to ask for a geometry, a center point, and an initial direction, and a target, final direction. So that one is vector based. Okay, so it's going to ask for the axial direction to start and the axial direction to end. And then rotate 3D will ask for, obviously, the geometry, the angle, and a center point, and an axis, which is measured as a vector in this case. And then the rotate axis is going to be a geometry, an angle, and a rotation axis in the form of a line. So for us, what I'm going to do is pivot our rotation around the line that we used to create the geometry, which, if I can select it properly, would be these. No, sorry, these. Yeah, these lines. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. So those lines are going to be what I use, and I'm not going to do a vector at all. So I won't be doing it around a center point. I won't be doing it there. I won't be doing it there. I'm going to use the angle and axis via a line. So I'll pull this back to the area where my line is. And the first thing that I should point out to you, we're not going to plug in the geometry yet until we get everything set up properly, but the line gets plugged into X. So we have 50 X axes around which we're going to rotate, obviously, 50 different items of geometry. Now the angle says rotation angle in radians. So that's not degrees. So what we'll have to do is convert our angles. We can make a slider and make it rotate a certain degree, but we need to change it from degrees to radians. So the way I'm going to do that is, I'll leave it here actually. The way I'm going to do that is under Math and Trig. We conveniently can just basically select radians, and it's going to take a degree input, and it's going to take and give it a radian output. It just does all the conversion for you. So if I want my louvers to go as low as 45 degrees and as high as 45 degrees, then I need to create a slider that goes from negative 45, starting at 0, to positive 45. So I'll plug that into D and the R into A, and now I can take this whole component here, pull it to the end, and I'll plug my extrusion in to G. So make sure that you turn off the old geometry. Turn that one off as well. And now this slider, keep an eye out on the geometry itself. That's this. Now the slider, as you go back and forth, will allow us to rotate. You guys digging that? I see Yi Ying's actually excited for once. She's not scared anymore. I know, guys, it feels like it takes a lot of work to get there, but you get to a point where it's, you know, you've done it enough that you know how to just kind of recycle the same ideas and get something with a really great output. If you notice, I don't think, with the exception of like 1 or 2 different new nodes, I don't think I've taught you anything brand new today. It's just a different way of putting them together. All the stuff you've already seen. The rotation is new, though. That's for sure. Okay. So questions before I close out the idea of rotation and end class for this evening? Simple enough, right? Rotation's not that crazy. All right.